Hi, folks.
Hi, Alex. Hi, Hannah.
Hello.
Hi, folks. How many do we need for recording? We have regrets from Louise.
Hello.
Maybe five. Five of their register.
Okay.
Hang on with the volume. Can you hear us okay?
I can, yeah.
No problems here.
Yeah, no problems. We can hear you good.
Okay, we're having a little bit of trouble hearing you guys, so I have to check the speakers.
No problems here.
Yeah, no problem. Hear you good.
Okay, we're having a little bit of trouble hearing you guys, so I have to check the speakers.
We're muted, aren't we?
We're having good. I had to mute the video.
Oh, God.
We were getting feedback.
How come?
I'm just gonna test the volume again. We were having a hard time hearing anybody that zoomed in. I'm not sure if anybody on screen is talking, but we can't hear anybody.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but it's really faint. I don't know. Okay, let me try. Okay, try one more time, Sarah.
Yeah, testing.
Okay, that's better.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you. There's a few different volume settings. I just had to find the right one.
First I thought it was coming from your
I've
phone.
never been so glad to hear your voice there.
Happy to be of service.
So we have regrets from Lee, so we're just waiting for one more person to join us.
Well, I think we can at least congratulate everybody. And I did see the emails. Thank you, Jamie, Virginia, and the team for all your hard work. That obviously paid off.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you for, we didn't do it alone. You did that big tour on, at night. That was brilliant.
That was wild. What happened?
And Vanessa's my hero for all the social media work and graphics that she did.
We have quorum.
We have quorum,
We
I
have
know.
quorum now.
Well, thank you, Alex. I appreciate the celebration. Oh, we should, I'm sorry, I'm the chair. Okay. All right, so it's 12:04. We'll convene and I'll read the land acknowledgement. Can everyone hear me? Okay, we're all right. Okay, good. I acknowledge with respect that we are here in Robinson here on treaty territory. that the land on which we are gathered is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and known as Bawating. Bawating is the home of Garden River First Nation, Batchewana First Nation, and the historic Sault Ste. Marie Métis Council. And the next agenda item is adoption of the minutes from September 3rd.
Yeah, we
We didn't have a meeting in October. Oh, that was
That's right.
right. It was the day before doors open. Okay, I'm sorry, September 3rd. And the motion is that resolved that the minutes of the Municipal Heritage Committee meeting of September 3rd, 2025 be approved.
I can second.
Who moved it?
I can move it.
Do you want to move it, Alex?
Alex,
And I'll second.
at the September meeting,
No, he wasn't.
I think you missed that one because it was the first day of school.
Okay,
Oh, I'm disappointed. I knew I
I,
missed you guys.
I was there. Sarah's here. I was there, so I can move or second it, however you want to do that.
and do we have a seconder for that motion?
I can second that one.
Oh, thank you, Hannah. Great. Okay. And we need to vote, I'm sorry. So would everyone raise their hand if they're in favor of that motion? And Hannah and Claire moved it, so they're in favor. Alex? Are you gonna vote, Alex? Are you
Yeah.
opposed?
Not opposed. Happy to second if we need to second.
No, we're good. You weren't there, so it doesn't work. Well, that motion carried. Does anyone have any pecuniary interest to declare? For today? Seeing none? Virginia, you okay? We'll move on to the adoption of the agenda. And the motion that I will read is that resolved that the agenda for Municipal Heritage Committee meeting for November 5, 2025 be presented as approved or approved as presented.
Yeah.
Okay, do we have a mover for that motion for the agenda? Hannah's hand is up. Thank you, Hannah. And we'll need a seconder. And Vanessa's hand is up. Thank you. Great. So could we vote on the motion to approve the agenda? Alex and Sarah? Sarah's hand is up. And Hannah's and Alex, everybody. Excellent. That carried, I think. So do you have business arising from?
So, designated property grant for 1048 Queen Street. So if everybody remembers, they applied previously, for a grant to repaint the porch, railing, balusters, and columns at their property. We received the post-grant report last week, and Jamie had a chance to go out and check the work, and I believe everything was in order.
That's a lovely home. And yeah, look, Jamie, you know the home, right? You went there?
Yeah, they had, the day that I went, I wish I'd taken my camera because they had Halloween decorations up on the veranda that was to die for, but it was fun, yeah. So we have, I'm sorry, page 2, we have a motion. Resolved that the Sault Ste. Marie Municipal Heritage Committee approved the designated heritage property grant for 1048 Queen Street East in the amount of $1,452. So we'll need a mover for that motion.
I'd like to move on that.
Oh, okay, perfect.
And it's Sarah. I can second that.
Okay, thank you very much. Got that? So can we vote on that motion then? Everyone in favor? Hopefully, Alex is in favor because he waved at Sarah's hand is up, so that carried. So that's the end of business arising, Virginia?
That is.
That's the only one? Okay, so number 6, subcommittee task force updates. And the first one is doors open. So I shared with you the attendance numbers. And Virginia, did you want to bring up the survey?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring up the survey.
Virginia's gonna bring up the survey. It's a Survey Monkey product.
I put it in the chat before I walked upstairs.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Perfect.
And apparently.
Oh, there we are.
It was taking a while to think.
Uh,
Okay, so just give me a second while I share my screen.
Okay.
Okay, can everybody see the doors open Sault Ste. Marie Visitor Survey dashboard?
Yep, we're good.
Okay, so I'm just going to minimize this right now. Maybe put it across the top. Okay, so I'll just go through quickly. So the survey covered off, if anybody was working, they had an idea or had a chance to look at the survey before. So it looked at where people were from, province, state, or country. So you could see the number of people for each question, how many answered, how many maybe skipped or didn't fill it out. I want to thank Lauren, who's here with us today. She took all of the paper copies and inputted them into SurveyMonkey. So we did have a combination of paper and ones that were already completed online, but there was probably 50-ish that Lauren had to enter in. So this allowed us to compile everything in one place and be able to create the dashboard and a summary of all the results easily. So thank you for all your work with that. So we could just kind of go through the different questions. We can run postal code reports. So now that we have all the data in there, I can actually do and dump this into postal code to see how many people came from out of town. So it'll be a little bit faster and we can really refine the results that we received. So I'm just going to try to minimize this so that I don't know if it's blocking the screen for you right now. There we go. So you can see that, you know, for a lot of people, this was the very first time that they participated in a doors open event. So nearly 80% of the people came out for the first time, which I think is great. And I think that's a real win from our standpoint. And, you know, a lot of that has to do with advertising and getting the word out there to the community. So that was positive. How many sites? So people, this is kind of the range. So most people kind of targeted 1 to 3 sites. Some were really busy. Apparently one person, the entire
13.
6 hours was going to every site that was there. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, you can see that, you know, what is the main reason for your visit to community? So a large percentage were people that were from here, and some people were on vacation. So that's nice that we were able to, you know, provide that during that time frame. It is a good time frame during the year because it is a very heavy tourist time frame with the fall color tours. Then there's questions regarding spending, what money you were spending that day, whether it's a food, beverage, shopping. You can see there were some overnight accommodations related to it. So that ties back to our tourists. And then what was the total spending result? So that gives you a bit there. If anybody has any questions too, just raise your hand and feel free to interject as we go through. How did you hear about Doors Open? So you can see that the social media piece was a real large push, and then other could be that a combination of, you know, whether it was on Sioux Today, whether it was on some of those other media outlets, depending on what they clicked.
Can we add a question to this next year to customize it a bit to the survey? Because I'd like to add the CBC question there, whether, you know, we had David Ellis was on CBC Friday, late Friday, whether that was a factor.
Yeah, so just to specify.
Oh, it could be radio. Yeah, separate television and radio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where did you get your copy of the Doors Open program? So some of them didn't have it.
No,
Don't know what a participating site. So that might have been the brochures that they were looking at.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
So again, a lot of people were in Canada, others were just others, so we're pretty generic. They had some questions about language, so I think this really ties back to a lot of what Doors Open. So this feedback also goes back to Doors Open Ontario. So it's not just for us locally, it's for them on a broader, really looking for that input, right? So rate your experience. So everybody, you know, good scores as far as completely satisfied. I think that may have resulted in, we had a couple little glitches with some of the sites with some timing for tours and different things that were happening. So it could be related to that. The one person, and I think it was just one person that was, so it was just one out of the,
I did hear a complaint. I did in the comments, I see comments about.
yeah, and we could
Yeah.
take a deeper dive into that.
Mhm.
And then very likely to recommend the event to others. So I think overall the feedback was very positive. The comments
I know.
were great. You know, I think we started rolling out promotion well in advance. I think that's always a challenge with any event. You know, we'll be hosting events where you will say the start time starts at 7 and some people get misinformation somehow. So I think that it's just depending on what outlets they're looking at, but I think this year was probably our best year from a promotion standpoint. You know, we're really starting to fine tune some of this as we move along. Does anybody have any questions before I stop sharing the screen?
How were we for like attendance?
I
Jamie,
didn't
did you,
hear what he said.
attendance?
Oh, attendance, that was the other, I had, I had an Excel file, I think it was up over 1,000.
Yeah,
Total,
1,000 visits.
knowing that, you know, those thousands are people that have visited 4 or 5 sites, maybe.
And I was able to see that. Yeah, Jamie, thank you for sharing that out. Back to Virginia, like how are we in terms of other years with our attendance? Are we well, I know we're better than the last previous years, but how are we in other years?
The 1 year it was digital. So we had the event the 1 year. We were definitely higher than that year. So we exceeded past performance. I have to go back because we had a real gap and when it was done. We started to get back into it when they opened up, digital doors open, and they had waived the annual fee to participate. So we've definitely grown from what it was in the last decade, I would say.
The one in 2022, I thought was something like 444.
Yeah.
But the problem with that number is that I don't think all the sites were reporting that year. Not as well reported as this year.
Yeah, it gets
We have
tricky,
2
right?
sites that didn't report this year, and I think the other year we had more.
Yeah, sometimes it's tricky getting the data back from all the sites, but you know, it's definitely an improvement over the past doors open that we've hosted.
Perfect. Speaking of data, so we have the data. How do we use it to do some next steps, some actionable items for the next doors open? There's some good feedback there that we can definitely use, but where does it go between here and then?
I love that. I have a list on my computer, Alex. I'm hoping that we could have a committee meeting maybe to plan for 2026 and maybe incorporate Hannah's idea of the home and garden tour. So I've already been talking to Gord Pym at Ontario Heritage Trust, and he told me a couple things. One thing is the digital option for doors open will be gone next year, so which is okay because we hadn't really embraced that option anyway to a large extent. But I did ask him about home and garden, Hannah, and I said, you know, I wonder if we could have like a home and garden theme that features designated properties, you know, get because we didn't have any private designated properties this year. And his idea was, he said other committees do it on a different date, so that if we do doors open in October, which might not be the right time of year for garden, we could do the home and garden thing in, you know, June, July, and make it a separate event and maybe monetize it so you could charge admission for it, kind of thing. So he kind of threw out that idea, and he gave me a couple of names of communities where that has been successfully done. Apparently,
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, so I wanted to research that, kind of Google it a bit and come up with a list maybe. And then have a committee, because I have a list of ideas that, either came in too late for this year. Or, that would be good for next year, including like the feedback from the volunteers.
Of
And
course, yeah.
all of the sites are keen to repeat this experience. So the other idea was having a shuttle bus that maybe runs people around. So because some of the sites are further out. Like
I mean, if we're able to monetize something like the home and gardens aspect of that, it would be good to be able to maybe use some of those proceeds to fund something like a shuttle bus, like because you're right, it's not as accessible, considering most of the properties this year for Doors Open were sort of condensed into one area.
right.
Um, Whereas if you were to do homes, it would be a little more spread out. Um, but I've been to communities where they have done homes. I was actually in Finland over the summer, and one of the communities that I visited at the time had essentially their version of a Doors Open, and it was mostly homes, which was really quite incredible to see. So it would be nice to sort of repeat something like that in this community, because we have a lot of heritage homes and a lot of just unique architecture that could be shared.
Well, I was wondering if we could maybe partner with the Horticultural Society or something and get into some cross promotion there,
Absolutely.
possibly. So I think if we have a subcommittee that wants to continue this discussion, I think we can, plan the home and garden date and then the home and garden date, like if you do that in June and then at that event, promote the Doors Open in October, and then in October, promote the next home and garden. You could kind of feed your audience all the dates as they
And
come.
that would be great for keeping our socials active as well and keeping that in, in the minds of the people who we're trying to reach, right?
Yeah, that's exactly that. It's funny you should mention the social. I want to keep the Doors Open Facebook page active through the year. And one idea I had was kind of asking on social media people to suggest sites that they would like to visit. And then that way we could get some feedback, because right now we're just working from a list that we already have, right? And like, does somebody want to see, Tenaris or Algoma Steel or, the hospital, or, are there sites that people might want to visit that we're not on our list this year? So I could do that on social media, I think.
I think the community engagement aspect of that is, yeah, really important. So I'm all for that idea.
Okay. I like that idea too. So, Virginia, could we schedule like maybe in January a Doors Open meeting? Yep. Not December. But I'll make a note about social media, Hannah. I like your ideas. I'll do a Google thing about the home and garden. And we'll, compile a list in our spare time. Okay.
And that also reminds me too, I have a bunch of newspapers saved about the art galleries tour of homes that they did from the 80s, I think, into the early 2000s. It might be a good idea to pull some properties from those lists from previous tours that people may want to revisit, 40 years down the line.
Yeah, but there's another partner. Wow, I love it. Okay. Thanks. Are we done with the Doors Open topic? That was number 6.1. So 6.2 is heritage trees, which is Sarah, I think.
Yeah, so we don't really have an update. We're just waiting for the final tree measurements. And then once we have that, we can send the spreadsheet around to the committee. We do have a tree expert who can just put a final touch on the spreadsheet, and then we'll be able to share it with this committee. So yeah, we should have that. It's been delayed a bit just because, a lot of folks are really busy and with turnover and end of season and whatnot. We're just waiting for the city folks to get us those measurements. But yeah, we should have that soon.
I'm hoping to have some of them this week, Sarah. So starting with ones that are city property. We should hopefully have some of those over to you.
Okay. That's great. So, the next agenda item is new business. And the first item is the Heritage Property Tax Rebate Program.
So in your package is a copy of the inspection notes with some photos. So thank you, Jamie, for all your hard work. Jamie went out on tour with a member of our building department to the different properties. They did have 2 tours. So with the larger properties, we had staff at those locations for the machine shop and yard locker, as well as 875 Queen and 69 Church meet on site so that they could talk about what work's been done, what are some of the challenges. Especially with those larger buildings, oftentimes there's a lot of work that's being done, but you can't see it because they're flat roofs. There's, continuous things that they're addressing that may not be as visible. So the report was attached. I hope everybody had a chance to go through it. There's some really great photos of the yard locker that are in there, which is the newest property on the list that was recently designated. And I think everybody was recommended to receive their rebates this year. We are going to be sending out, I think, a couple letters reminding some of our folks that there's a few items that they need to put some attention into before next year's inspection. So I've got a list of those, but I don't think there was any red flags.
I found it really interesting because I haven't done this for about 5 years, and almost every property that we visited where there was an owner or an individual there, every single one of them brought up security issues. And it was just kind of gave me a snapshot of what the individual property owners are dealing with. There was one question, Virginia, that came up at the Insect Pathology Lab. The purpose people want to close in a staircase, and they wanted advice on the heritage attributes of that project.
I didn't receive anything in writing from them with regards to it, but I mean, if it's a staircase, pardon me?
They knew I was going to be asked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if it's a staircase, it's a metal staircase, so there's no heritage value in the staircase itself. It's a staircase at the back of the building. So if you look on page.
It's this one here, page 22.
Page 22 of your package, you can see a black metal staircase that's coming down from the back of the building.
Yeah, and they've been having trouble with people being under that staircase, so they want to close it in.
Yeah.
So there are no aspects of, can you communicate with them? Because I don't have an email for them.
Yeah, I can communicate with them.
Okay.
Yeah, the staircase itself, has no, you're not part of the designation or reference in the designation, so
I
it
think
doesn't
it's
have
concerned, does it have to be clear plexiglass? Could it be
I think they could just put
railings,
metal railings there.
whatever whatever they can manage? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was I know, but it was kind of interesting not to have done that for a number of years and then go back. And the Kensington Terrace, for example, was interesting because the last time I was there, the owner was asking about screen doors that would be heritage appropriate, and the screen doors are in place now. So it's kind of, I can see the progression of some of these buildings. It was interesting. And the the Wellington Square townhouses, there's only one unit there that was different. And the newest one, the Summit Avenue one, was awesome. He would be on the home and garden tour, I think. So I really enjoyed it. Thank you for letting me do that, because it was fun. But it took us a while because of all the meetings, the appointments we had. It took longer than I expected, but that's okay. The Algonquin is still my favorite building, and the owner came out and talked to us, and I told him that your building is my favorite one. So he was glad to hear that. Yeah, no, I loved it. I love doing that. Everybody should do that. That's a brilliant experience, doing those tours. Is there a motion or?
There is a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I miss it? Oh, it's up here. Okay. I will stop talking. The motion, resolved that the Sault Municipal Heritage Committee recommends to City Council that the designated heritage property tax rebates for the 2024 tax year be paid to the qualified owners of designated heritage properties enrolled in the program. So I need a mover.
But we need the list too.
Oh, we have to read the list. 69 Church Street, Provincial Air Hangar, 875 Queen Street, the Insect Pathology Lab, 864 Queen Street, Algonquin Hotel, 119 Woodward Avenue, 10 Kensington Terrace, Unit 110-3, 115 Upton Road, 1902 Family Residence, 193 Penn Street, Wellington Square Townhouses, 36 Herrick Street, 358 to 366 Queen Street East, Barnes, Fawcett Blocks. Oh, that's hard to say. 242 to 246 Queen Street East Hussey Block, 99 Huron, the Yard Locker, 83 Huron, the Machine Shop, 1048 Queen Street East, which is East Bourne, 54 Summit Avenue, 143 McGregor Avenue, and further that an inspection report and letters to be sent to the property owners outlining the recommendations. Okay, we need a mover for that one. It'll have to be on the screen. Sarah, would you like to move it?
I'm happy to move it.
And Alex is happy to move it. Awesome. And do we have a seconder?
I can second it.
And Sarah's second. Very nice. Do all in favor, if we could vote? With the hands up, or Alex and Sarah moved it, so it carried, I think. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Alex. So number 8 is correspondence, Virginia.
Yeah, the only correspondence I received an application to designate a property, but it was missing a great deal of information. So I had to send it back and request a number of the sections. There was missing photos. There was very little detail. So I'm not sure if it's just the way the form came across and it cut something off, or if there's just more work that needs to be done. So I'll keep you posted. It was too late to be bringing to the meeting at this point. So we'll see what. Yeah, and it's a piece of property. There's no building on
there's no
it.
building on it.
No.
It's just a rule.
Yeah, so it's just
Interesting.
it's just a lot.
Excellent.
Yeah,
That's
so,
interesting.
yeah, so it's a lot that's there, so I need a lot more information to be able to bring that back to the committee for
Yeah.
consideration. So I'll
Wow.
continue to work with the applicant to try to get that,
Okay.
and then once it's ready, we'll bring it forward this way.
So if we receive, if it's correspondent comments and whatnot that comes through social media, does that fall under this umbrella of correspondence? Sigh. Like how official is what?
I think if it's official correspondence, I
Yeah.
don't think that it has to be on your, on a social media account, unless there's some type of official request that would require the rest of the committee to weigh in on it, right, for a decision.
So if we're on social media, if I'm soliciting suggestions for news sites for Doors Open, that's not an official communication channel.
You may want to then compile it and bring it to the Doors Open Subcommittee, which
Yeah.
would
Oh,
then
okay.
the minutes would come to the committee.
Okay.
But if, somebody's saying, hey, great event, I really enjoyed it. I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that detail.
But like in my email, I'm doing a lot of corresponding with sites and volunteers and all that, and I did have a thought.
That's more programming though, right? Because that's event planning versus,
Oh, versus, yes.
yeah,
Okay.
versus
City
actual,
council business
yeah, 'cause
and
that's,
spending money.
yeah, because that's just the deep, like if every email that went out to everybody trying to plan the event, I think, you know what I mean? You'd be
Yeah, you'd
inundated
be-
with pages
I
and
would.
pages of
Mhm.
documentation, right? Versus,
No.
so that's just, I think,
Okay,
an activity that is part of the event, and then the higher level, here's the list that, we presented the list of all the properties that were involved, and those details came out in those minutes
they
that
came
were
out in
posted
minutes.
on the packages.
oh,
on the
that
website.
would be truly would come out. Okay, all right, so, The next meeting
It's
is
December,
December
I
5th of
just
June,
noticed.
I think so. Did you want to have a meeting in December or?
I don't, as of right now, there's not any pressing business for December, so we could skip that meeting. If something does come up, we could
Convene.
yeah, so we could look at having that in January as the next meeting. Which would be,
The 26th.
hmm,
Can you believe that?
it would be January 7th.
Okay,
So unless there's something pressing that comes up that needs to be addressed, we could aim for January 7th, 2026.
okay. And we could let the other committee members know that are not here.
Yeah, they would get the meeting invite, so the one would get canceled and then the meeting.
Oh, you
invite
would
get-
cancel the one, so they would get the cancellation. Okay. Alrighty, and then there is a motion to adjourn, resolve that this committee now adjourn. Would anyone like to make that motion that we adjourn? Sarah's hand is up. Excellent. Do we need a seconder? Do we have a
No.
second?
Not to adjourn.
And Vanessa's hand is up. Excellent. And do we vote on that, Virginia? Yeah. Could we vote on the motion to adjourn? Hannah, you're not opposed to adjourning the meeting? No, and Alex is not either. Okay. That motion carried. Oh my goodness, I think I still need a course in parliamentary behavior. I started the meeting forgetting that I was the chair. Okay, all right. Thanks, everybody, for all your work. That's awesome.
Have a
See you
great
in
Great
the-
job. Thanks,
Thanks,
team. See you in the
everyone.
new year.